Obviously, it was good for our guys to get out and play against some different competition. They've been beating up on each other in practice for quite some time, especially with the new rules. So it was good to have some different competition. I'm really pleased with the way that Colin Borker played. I thought he took good shots. He played through the offense, didn't force anything. I'm happy with the way Andre Applewhite came off the bench and played with some energy and played within the flow of the game. I think we got to get better individual performances out of Fred Thomas and Gavin Ware if we're going to be a good quality basketball team. I'm still concerned about the second chance points and offensive rebounds, and I know that happens sometimes when you get broken down defensively. But I thought they scored way too many points in the second half. I was pleased with the 22 in the first half, but I thought 35 in the second half was way too much. So obviously we got some things that we need to work on. First basketball game for us. We'll get in the film room and I'll break it down with our guys, but it was really good to get some outside competition.
You guys seem to, I know it's an exhibition game and they're working a lot of different rotations and combinations, but several of your guys, especially Andre, kind of let the game come to them. They weren't forcing issues like you saw at times early last year.
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that we tried to work on as a team is not pressing the issue, letting the offense just happen. And the thing I want our guys to do is I want them to make plays, but I don't want them to force plays. There's a big difference.
Rick, you talked about Colin a little bit, but he seemed as 6'9", almost directing some people out there. How is he able to do that from maybe his position of a forward?
Well, I think the way we play, the most important position on the court will always be the point guard position. But the second most important position for our team is that skilled forward. That's why it's so important that guy know how to play basketball. And I think Colin has a really good grasp of what's going on the basketball court. And besides the point guard, in our offense, the four-man has the ball the second most amount of time. So he needs to be a skilled guy and knows what's going on.
Colin and Craig both complimented Dre about both his strength and his intelligence. They said that he plays some four in practice, but given what you just said about the four, it might be kind of unfair to throw a newcomer into that role. But where do you see him?
Well, I don't know if it's unfair. He's on scholarship, so all these guys want to play. So, and he's going to have to play some at the 4 for us because we only got 3 post guys, and with that rotation and whenever we get in foul trouble, which happened in the first half there, I think Gavin had 2 and Raquez had 2, so he had to play some 4 for us, and it's going to happen in the real games too. So, but I think the thing about Andre is he's a coach's son. He has a really good grasp of basketball, and that's going to help our team.
Can he Andre offset a lack of height and his 4 with his strength? They talk about how strong he is.
Yeah. Oh, he's a strong kid. I don't know if he can offset it, but if he does the things he's supposed to do, there's really no difference between what our 4-man does between the 3 and the 4 and the 2 because we play 4 out, 1 in. The big difference is on the defensive end. He's going to find a way to fight in front and get a defensive rebound. If he can't get a defensive rebound, the most important thing is not allowing his man to get the offensive rebound. So I think he's capable of that.
You can tell IJ really sets the pace. The flow of the game is just so much different this year with him in there. I think it's 22 minutes, 4 assists, and just 1 turnover. Just what's he do to help the team? I mean, you can tell the flow is just that much better with him.
Well, he just has a natural feel for that position, that point guard position. And I think we've done some things to open up the court better for both him and Trevante to allow those guys to go attack and make plays in transition. And Trevante, I think if you look at our team, you can see that he's made an improvement. He's so much better as far as like dictating what's going on offensively and doing things within the flow of the offense. So I think at that point guard position, simply because we have IJ ready there now, but also I think Trevante has made huge improvements in his game too. So, but I think we've done a better job of teaching those guys what we want, and they got a better grasp of what we want out of them.
How much has that led into you having, like you said, you had Trevante and IJ on the floor at the same time tonight?
Yeah, I think that's all a necessity as well too. We got to make sure we have the best lineups out there, and I think those guys are both really good defenders. And sometimes when having struggling keeping people in front of us, I'll go with that lineup because I think both of those guys are our best on the ball defenders.
In 19 minutes, Chicken only had 1 turnover. Is that what you've been seeing in practice? I know you're happy about that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if we need to frame this and give it to Chicken, but that's what we want him to play. We don't want to take away his temperance of going there and making plays because it's very important for us. But now Chicken has done a very, very good job of seeing the play after he gets the penetration. I think Chicken would drive, and he always saw what was going on in front of him and underneath him, but he never saw what was going on behind him. And I think that's the maturation of his game, is he's seeing the open people now and knowing when to go and when not to attack, and really just to simply pass the basketball. So I'm really pleased with the way he's playing right now, because we need him to go make plays, but we need him to do it without turning the ball over.
Where's Jacoby kind of with his time frame of playing?
That's a good question. Right now he's out there doing things 5-on-0, and he's going to continue to progress, and that's all in Scotty's hands and how they feel about that. But right now he's just a 5-on-0, no contact guy, so hopefully he'll continue to grow and be able to go 5-on-5 contact.
Definitely not Friday then.
I wouldn't assume so.
Are you starting to see Craig's game evolve a little more now that he can just focus more on being a 2-guard instead of what to do if he has to take control of the offense?
Yeah, I think with Chicken, I think the one thing that got in his head too was that he's not a point guard. And really there's not much difference between what a point guard does and a 2-guard does if there's a missed shot. Now there's a huge difference on a made shot, because I don't want Chicken not to get the ball and transition and go attack just like a point guard would. So, but I think it's more his mindset that he doesn't have to play point guard in those dead ball situations. That's when Chicken struggle. But in the open court situation, we want Chicken to have the ball because I think he's our most explosive guy in the open court.